It's the Unknown Mechanic back again, and this channel is for the shop owner who has underperforming technicians who are always fumbling and bumbling and losing parts, breaking the customer's equipment, taking too long to complete a job, asking their boss stupid questions every 5 minutes. And it's also for the technician who wants to raise their level of proficiency so that they don't have to make a lot of mistakes and take too long. And it's also for the homeowner do-it-yourselfer who might want to tackle this job on your own, or at least if you see a professional do it with the correct tools and methods, then when you do go into the shop, you'll know what to expect in the way of a proper job. So today we are going to revisit one of my prior videos, the Shindaiwa HT2510 Hedge trimmer video. And a lot of my videos are too long, so I try to edit out the nuts and bolts. And apparently I edited out the clutch boss removal, and somebody pointed that out, so I want to revisit that. And this is going to be a short for today. We're only going to remove the clutch and the clutch boss off of the crankshaft. So I have two specimens here. I'm not sure where I acquired these from. Probably customers that brought them in a state of such disrepair that when estimates were presented to them, they just didn't want to spend the money and fix it. They'd rather just buy a new one. So we get some junk ones that way. That situation's changing a little bit because gas has been banned and the gas machines are quickly disappearing, and the battery powered electric hedge trimmers, they're more expensive, especially when you start buying a second and third battery. And so now the resale value of some of the gas equipment is going up, and so some of these machines are coming out of the junk pile and being resurrected. And that's the case with this first one. I've got a customer that wants this, and in my spare time I'm going to have to fix it, sharpen it, and go through the entire machine. It looks like it needs an ignition coil and air filter and a lot of cosmetic parts, but I'm pretty sure I can easily make this machine run like new again. So we're going to take the motor off. First, I'm going to disconnect the throttle cable and the ignition switch. And there's 3 bolts that hold the gear case onto the engine. Okay, these are 6mm by 18, it looks like. This one's got a ground wire on it for the stop switch. And I'm just going to set this lower end aside for now. And now we have exposed our clutch. And looks like we've got 2 5mm shoulder bolts Always want to remember which way the clutch goes on there. There's like the leading edge of the shoe is over here. The trailing edge is there. I wouldn't want to put it on upside down. So I'm going to just lay that aside. We've got 2 washers on the clutch boss, 2 spring washers, and 2 shoulder screws. Plain washers go underneath the shoes. And now we have exposed our clutch boss. So looks like we need a 10 millimeter. I come right back. Should have had my 10 millimeter ready. Yep, that's a 10. And I don't know if this is a left hand or a right hand. So I'm not going to go crazy with it. I'm going to try reverse first. And it was a left hand. So that is a left-handed fastener. So you want to turn that clockwise to the right to get it to come off. Now at this point, we have our crankshaft exposed, and we're going to talk about, this is an Echo flywheel puller, but it will work. I believe it's going to work. It looks like it's going to work. So it comes with 3 5mm by 8mm studs and 3 6mm by 8mm studs. Because some of the clutches and so forth are the holes are in a triangle. There's 3 of them, but this one there's only 2. This is a 2-shoe clutch. So I've got my my studs on there, and yeah, this is going to work. Now, what do I need to push? I'm set up for pulling, but I need to push. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a like a 5mm bolt, a hardened bolt, and I'm going to drop it down into the hole in the end of the crankshaft. And this is a 6mm left-handed. So if I go one size smaller, nothing is going to touch the threads in the end of the crank. The bolt is going to hit the bottom of the hole bored in the end of the crankshaft. So I find a 5mm bolt. Should have had that here too. Those are 6s. I'll be right back with a spare bolt. Okay, that's not long enough. It's going to have to be a real long one. Okay, that one's long enough. Okay, that looks pretty good. And at this point, I'm going to just progressively tighten the two nuts, and this is going to pull. And that did it. Okay, so the clutch boss is tapered, and the crankshaft is tapered. And this is would be necessary if you had a bad seal and you were trying to replace this seal. You would need to be able to pull that clutch boss off. Now, I'm going to show you an alternate method. We're going to set this one aside. We're going to go on to the next one. And I'm going to want to disconnect. Same thing. Disconnect the throttle. And I'm going to want to disconnect the switch. Get these mixed up. Put this one over here. I'm remembering that this one is left-handed. That one wasn't terribly tight. Okay, so now we're going to use an alternate method. And then we'll be right back with the punch. Okay, so this time the punch is going to bottom at the bottom of the hole bored in the crankshaft. And I'm going to try to do this one-handed. Put some cushions here because we're going to lose our engine. Obviously, the puller is better. Yep, and you can see you can do it without a puller, but it's harder. So that took a little bit of work. And also the engine can fall, so you want to be careful when you do it. And I would resort to that only if you don't have a puller. You don't need these special double-ended studs. You can use 6mm bolts that are long enough to get out there. So that is how you remove the clutch boss on an HT2510. You got a left-handed crankshaft bolt, preferred method, a puller, alternate method when you don't have the right tools. It will work. So if you like the video, thumbs up and subscribe. Make sure you watch all my other videos. And this is sort of an addendum to the Shindaiwa HT2510 Hedge trimmer video. So I'm going to sign off. Don't know what the next one's going to be. Unknown Mechanic signing off.